All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. Happy Saturday. We are going to recap what happened in the wild world of sports on Friday. And boy, there was quite a bit. Thank you. And if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. And I guess the big story was the second game of the Stanley Cup hockey playoffs. In Edmonton, the Florida Panthers evened the series at 1-1. Brad Marchand scored a goal in the second overtime to lead them to a 5-4 win. It was a back and forth game. I will say that the first two games of the series, the thing that has really impressed me is how fast they are skating. Just give me a second here before it sounds like the most moronic goddamn thing you ever heard. Is they're calling penalties on both teams, but there is such a flow in this game. Like if they get a 2-on-1 and they miss, the other team is just rushing. It is just, the skating is exquisite. The playmaking is sublime. I mean, this is hockey at its highest altar. I mean, they are playing some great, great hockey. Unfortunately, somebody had to lose. Corey Perry. They pulled the goalie. Corey Perry scored a goal with under 40 seconds left to tie it at 4-4. They went into the first overtime. There was no goals. Brad Marchand barely scooted it under Skinner. Brad Marchand had 2 goals. Larry McDavid was just... Oh, Larry McDavid. Connor. Thinking of Seinfeld there, huh? 3 assists. And I will say this, that guy is just magic. When you're the other team or you're the other team's fan and he gets that puck and he starts skating, you literally hold your breath. That guy he's like Sidney Crosby back in the day. He's like Mario Lemieux. He's like Wayne Gretzky. He's like Bobby Orr. Just guys who, man, this guy can change it at any moment. And that assist, he got the Draisaitl, I think, for their third goal. He rocketed it and put it right on his stick, and boy, he buried it in the net. And I was like, I think it was Kane for Edmonton, put his hands on his head like he was in awe. And this is a guy who's a 10-year vet in the league, right? I mean, he was like, I can't even believe what I just saw. It was just so amazing. And it was such an amazing goal that typically when they score a goal, the guy who scored the goal gets to fist pump everybody on the bench first. Nah, McDavid, yeah, he gets to go. It was that insane. It was that bloody good. Evan Bouchard, a goal, 2 assists. Edmonton played great. I'm interested to see what happens when we relocate to Florida. It should be a really interesting series. You know, Florida played better. They just played better, but I thought Edmonton was going to squeeze out the win. I did. I thought they were going to find a way. I mean, when you have Draisaitl and you have McDavid, man, there's a lot of opportunities those guys create, not just for themselves, but everybody else, because you are literally basically covering both of them with 2 players. And you only got 5, you know? Borowski was great. Boba was really, really good. Skinner was actually pretty good. I just thought, you know, Florida was just a little better. I do wonder, and I've been watching the series, they're laying some lumber on the Edmonton players. They are wearing them down, and I wonder if that's going to exactly be the same kind of thing that happened to Carolina, and it also happened to Toronto. They just wore them down. They're big guys, and man, they are smashing them into the boards. We shall see on Monday. All right, let's go over to something we really don't talk about too much. Let's talk about the French Open, and Yannick Sinner beat Djokovic in the semifinals to get to the finals. He's going to face Alcaraz. And I'm just going to say what I'm going to say right here. He was caught on a doping scandal last year, and I don't trust him. I don't. He's going to win the French Open. He has a 20-match winning streak. If you win 7 matches, you win the tournament in a major, right? He won the U.S. Open. He won the Australian. I don't trust him. I think he's a dirty player. I'm sorry. I don't care if he has clean test. I don't really care. His excuse a year ago was some massage guy put some type of testosterone on his back, and that's how it got into his blood sample, his urine sample. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I will tell you this. That dude is a machine. I watched him in the quarterfinals. I don't even remember the guy's name, Mimic or whatever it was. Gee, he just blew him off the court. I was like, oh my God. This dude's like the Terminator. This dude is good. This dude is good. I think he cheats, whatever. And nobody during the telecast will touch it because God forbid we taint the world of tennis with a PED scandal. God bless, right? All right. Sinner has 3 majors. Alcaraz has 4. I'm rooting for Alcaraz. We'll see how it all plays out. But I got a funny feeling after Sunday, Sinner's going to have 4, and so is Alcaraz. I love Alcaraz. He's more flamboyant. I just like the guy. I just really like him. Hey, I'm happy Italy produced a top-level tennis player. Great. My paisans, but you know what? I don't need that cheating crap. All right, let's go to baseball. Boy. The Rays beat the Marlins 4-3. Nothing there. Nothing really to see there. Marlins are still a respectable 23-38. But the Rays are really the surprise here. They're 34-29. Second place in the AL East. Who saw that coming? I guess. Here we go. The Phillies lost to the Pirates 5-4. Romano took the loss for the Phillies. He's 0-3 with a 7.7 ERA. Rangers in literally the midst of a horrible 2.5-week slump. Lost to the Nationals 2-0. Patrick Corbin got the loss. He's 3-5 with a 3.5 ERA. I look at the Rangers and their starting pitching isn't bad. Mahal, DeGrom, Corbin. They've actually been good. But they have, in the last 10 games, a 27% K rate. 1 out of 4 of their guys, 4 of their at-bats, is a strikeout. That's just a killer. Let's get to the Yankees beat the Red Sox 9-6. If you don't listen to the podcast I do with Brian, typically on Monday and Thursday, you're depriving yourself of some stuff. That guy has got some knowledge. We were texting tonight, and he was talking about the Yankees putting a 5 spot on the first inning, and I was like, it's just not the Red Sox if we can't come up in the first or basically the beginning of the second and we're not down 5 runs. They make a game of it, but, Buehler got rocked. He's 4-4 with a 5.18 ERA. Thanks. Williams gets the save. God, he shouldn't even get a save in a game like that, but, what are you going to do? Tigers beat the Cubs 3-1. Astros beat the Guardians 4-2. Gordon's actually... well, I guess he is. I'm looking at his numbers. He's not really that good. Let's go back to the Tiger game. Skubal, 6-2 with a 2.1 ERA. That guy, I'm trying to figure out who in the American League is going to challenge him for the Cy Young. I don't see anybody. White Sox, shocker, beat the Royals 7-2. Padres beat the Brewers 2-0, and there is a lot of rumors about them wanting Jarren Duran from the Red Sox. We'll see how that works out. I could see them trading him for Michael King. Blue Jays versus the Twins. The Blue Jays come up with a 6-4 win. Yeah, Dodgers get shut out at St. Louis 5-0. They brought a kid up, Waborowski. Sonny Gray is actually a pretty good pitcher, especially against the Dodgers. Look at his numbers for this year. 7-1 with a 3.2 ERA. He's having a pretty damn good year, and especially against the Dodgers, he's usually really lights out, and he obviously was last night. The Mets beat the Rockies 4-2 because literally if you lose to the Rockies, you should be banned from baseball. The Angels beat the Mariners 5-4. Hendricks got his 100th win in the majors. Kudos to him. Kelly Jansen got the save. He's got his 13th save. Athletics beat the Orioles because, hey, Orioles can't win 3 in a row, God forbid. Sears gets the win, 5-5 with a 5.2 ERA. And like we talked about, the Giants beat the Braves. And that game they lost the night before, they had, a 6-run lead in the 9th inning. First batter for Arizona gets out. and then they give up 7 runs and lose the game. I mean, that's the kind of game. Oh, Lord. It's just, I mean, how do you, baseball players have to have very short memories. I don't even know how you overcome that. And Brian actually texted me something about he doesn't think they're going to win a series this month. He's probably right. But he goes, they're going to be so far down, it's not going to matter. They could be sellers at the trade deadline. I'm not saying Acuna, but you never know. They got a lot of good players. All right. That's it today. That's a recap of our Friday. Thank you for listening to Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon on Off the Rails.